To ask a stupid question of someone like you, but I think people are genuinely curious. What's a generic ballot? We keep hearing a lot of this now, a generic ballot, generic ballot. What is it?
So when a pollster asks a generic ballot, typically everyone's got a little bit different way of wording it. But what you're supposed to be really getting to the heart of is asking the voter, do they intend to vote for the Republican candidate or the Democratic candidate? Not specific candidates, but the Republican or Democrat when they go to vote for their House of Representatives representative in Congress. And we always say, whom do you intend to vote for in your congressional district? So we make sure we specify that we are talking about the House. It is a good metric because ultimately what happens is that lead on the generic ballot is basically indicative of all of the House vote nationwide added together. Think of it almost like a popular vote for president, only it is at the House level and it's all the House districts combined. So it tells us if a party is winning one share of the vote nationally, the House vote nationally, then we know how to at least roughly apply that to other districts that we may be looking at and decide whether or not a party has a good chance of taking that district. It's a good question.
Okay, so what is it now? What's it look like now?
So our last generic ballot that just came out is Republican +5, which we reported, though, Jesse, with an expanding lead. And the reason why we say that is because partisans are in their respected camps. They're not budging. Their minds are made up. We're at that point in the election. The only ones who remained undecided were largely independent, almost all of them, really, because less than 2% of each party was undecided. So all we have left are these undecided voters. They're between the ages of 30 and 64, most of them. They don't have a college degree, and they're negative on Joe Biden, whether they strongly or somewhat disapprove of Joe Biden. That is the lion's share of undecideds. And we're not the only ones, the survey or the USA Today poll, the New York Times poll, they all found generally the same thing, which is that the undecideds just don't look good for Democrats. And as we see them, those people who were undecided break throughout the month of October, they break hard for Republicans. It's been breaking, and depending on the poll, ours was 3-1. Others have even been more than that. So it's a big
I'm a hardcore partisan, as everyone knows, so I have my list of reasons why I don't like Joe Biden. But why don't the undecideds like Joe Biden? What is it?
It's inflation. It's the economy. For some, it's this general sense that things are just kind of spiraling out of control. I voted for Joe Biden because maybe I was getting a little bit tired of the boat rocking under Donald Trump. What happened to the even hand? What happened to the adults in the room? What happened to shutting down the virus, not the economy? So when you make these big promises like this, Jesse, and you don't really deliver, I mean, how could anybody argue with inflation where it is now that they delivered on these promises when inflation had stabilized and returned to the mean after the shutdown under former President Donald Trump? People aren't stupid, so the parties have their talking points, but the American public, these people that truly are persuadable, feel they cannot put groceries in their shopping cart and gas in their tank.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.